when we think about the new kind of open China, the new wealthy China, it also makes you think twice that in fact there are limits to what one as an individual can still do in China. I think it's important to remember that what we see today in China is markedly different from even 5 or 10 years ago. That certainly in the cultural scene we see much greater freedoms. Artists are able to show their work in state-run museums, galleries, and even in some cases in public spaces, which was really unthinkable 10 years ago. But however, having said that, there are still real issues for artists and those in the creative arena in China, that certain things are permissible and certain things aren't. And I think spearheading all of these kinds of issues of pushing the boundaries has certainly been the artist Ai Weiwei, who is probably the most famous Chinese artist today, having just had a major exhibition at the Tate Modern in London. But why he's important, I think, is that his artwork speaks in some ways about today's China, but his other activities as a political activist and even architect, having been known as one of the creators with Herzog de Meuron of the National Stadium, otherwise known as the Bird's Nest, has meant that he has really forged an international kind of reputation as one who is interested in changing Chinese society and the way that it deals with disasters, such as the Sichuan earthquake, and his blog that has attempted to name those who were affected by the disaster who died. So I think that, if anything, Ai Weiwei has become a central figure to our kind of understandings of the limits within China, what one can and can't do, through his blogs, which have been continually shut down, to his even his movements and travels. He was in Sichuan doing work on his blog about the earthquake, and it said he was beaten by police, and certainly he was injured to the extent that he had to go to the hospital when he went to Germany for an exhibition. And most recently he was put under house arrest. One of the key issues between the US and China has always been about human rights. And I think to that extent, Ai Weiwei has certainly become an international symbol of issues around human rights in China, and how an individual is able to express themselves, whether that's through art or through the media, through blogs, through Twitter, and other kinds of ways of communicating.